Welcome, everyone, to our class today on asking for and giving directions. Now, notice here with the verb ask, you need the preposition for. You ask for something, just like you might ask someone for a glass of water or for more water at a restaurant. So you ask for directions. Now, of course, you can ask your phone, and most of the time you don't need to ask people, but there certainly will be situations. So let's review some common expressions you can use today in 2026. So, to, to get someone's attention in North America and to sound polite at the same time, we say, excuse me. Not pardon me, not hi, not hello, not how are you, not do you have a minute. We simply say, excuse me. So if you want to get someone's attention in any situation, at the grocery store, at a cafe, at a restaurant, in a classroom, any situation, excuse me. Excuse me. Okay? Excuse me. Excuse me. I'm trying to find terminal B. Could you point me in the right direction? So, a terminal is generally in a transportation facility, whether that's an airport, a train station, a bus station. I can't think of any others. Maybe a ferry if you're taking a boat. So, in a transportation facility, there are different terminals. So, you don't know where to go and you just see someone walking by and you say, "Excuse me, excuse me." You get their attention. I'm trying to find terminal B. Could you point me in the right direction? Okay, so in this case, right doesn't mean go left, go right. It means the correct direction. So, which way should I go? Could you point me in the right direction? Now, could is the more formal way of can. You can absolutely say, "Can you point me in the right direction?" Could sounds more formal and polite, especially when you're talking to strangers. Now, point me in the right direction. This is just a phrase you can use to say, "Can you tell me where to go? Can you tell me where terminal B is?" So, could you point me in the right direction? Now, this expression is commonly used as a phrase with directions because they might literally say, terminal B is that way, or terminal B is that way. So, that's point. So, that's why this expression is quite common. Okay, I'll say it one more time. "Excuse me, I'm trying to find terminal B. Could you point me in the right direction?" And then hopefully they just say, "It's that way." You continue on, they continue on. You'll say, "Thanks so much." Maybe you say something like, "Have a good flight," to be polite to end if you're at an airport. How about this? Again, excuse me, because there isn't really anything else you would say. So there's lots of different ways you can greet someone. "Hi, how's it going? How are you? What have you been up to lately? What's new?" But to get someone's attention, just say, "Excuse me." Excuse me. And you generally do it with a little bit of a questioning tone. "Excuse me. Excuse me. Do you know if this bus stops at the museum?" Okay, do you know? Now, this is very common because maybe the stranger you're talking to doesn't know where terminal B is or doesn't know the route of the bus, right? So you could absolutely just assume the person knows if you're talking to an airport employee or the transportation employee or someone who just looks like a very seasoned traveler. But if you're just talking to a stranger, you might ask, "Do you know?" Because they may not know. So it gives them the opportunity to simply say, "Sorry, I don't know," or "Sorry, I can't help you." Do you know if this bus stops at the museum? If this bus stops at the museum. Because when you take a bus, there are scheduled stops on the route. So you don't know if the museum is one of those scheduled stops. So should I take this bus or not? That's basically what you want to know. So again, excuse me. I'll say it one more time. Excuse me, do you know if this bus stops at the museum? So notice that intonation for excuse me. Excuse me. Let's keep going. Hi there. Can you tell me when we get to the museum? Now, notice I said that you only need to know, excuse me. So let me explain the context of when you would use hi there. Now, this is assuming you're going on to the bus and then you pay your fare and then you look at the bus driver and you say hi there. Okay? Because it's common to say hi maybe as you enter or exit plane, bus, train. You might say hi to the driver or to the attendant. Hi there. Can you tell me when we get to the museum? So maybe you don't have the map. And I don't know about you, but the announcements are always very difficult to hear when they announce the stops. So you might not want to miss it. So you can just ask one of the people who works on the bus or the train, can you tell me when we get to the museum? So they're going to say, museum. And then you need to leave the bus. Okay, this student asks, can I ask a stranger, here goes this bus? No, that's not grammatical. I'm not sure what you want to say, but that doesn't get there. So maybe you would say, you would use does. Does this bus go to the museum? Does this bus go to the museum? Yeah, exactly. When you don't know which stop you should get off at. Very nice. Oh, yeah. You can never hear the announcement. So, this is something I do. I ask the driver or the attendant to tell me. I make them take responsibility for when I get off the bus just to make sure I don't get lost. Okay. Now, are you enjoying this lesson? Are these phrases helpful? Do you want to keep learning phrases with me in the next live lesson? If you do, put yes, 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 yes in the comments, like this lesson, and of course, subscribe so you're notified every time I post a new lesson and every time I go live as well. And I have this free speaking guide for you. Now, in this guide, I share 6 tips on how to speak English fluently and confidently. So you can download this from my website. And if you want to keep learning phrases, if you want to get my personalized support, you can join the Finally Fluent Academy, my premium program where we will work directly together. So you can find more information on that as well. All right. I'm so glad everyone is having a great time. High five to you. Woohoo. Let's keep going, everyone. Okay. Let's keep going. Woohoo. Thank you so much for your support. Okay. So we're not from around here. So could you tell us the easiest way to get to the waterfront? And thank you so much. Woohoo. High five. Now, to be honest, I should have added excuse me. So this would assume you already have that person's attention because I don't just make eye contact with someone and then start talking. You will absolutely say excuse me to get their attention. So in this case, it's assumed that you already have their attention. Now you might add, we're not from around here. This means you're a tourist, you're just visiting, you're not familiar with the area. We're not from around here. Okay, we're not from around here. We're from a different area, a different city, a different country. We're not from around here. Around means in this geographical area. It's not the same as I'll be there around 5 p.m. That means close to 5 p.m. It just means this geographical area. We're not from around here. So could you tell us the easiest way to get to the waterfront? So maybe you can see the waterfront, but there's a path down and you don't know what path to take, which one is steep, which one's muddy, which one has the best views. So could you tell us the easiest way to get to the waterfront? And you might say we're not from around here because sometimes people are more polite to tourists. They're more willing to help a tourist. So if you use this at the beginning, they may be more willing to take time out of their day to help you. We're not from around here, so could you tell us the easiest way to get to the waterfront? Okay. And the waterfront is just the area where the water meets land. So there might be a nice path you can walk along. There might be restaurants where you can have a nice view of the water. There might be a boardwalk, things like that. Maybe you can even take a ferry from the waterfront. So just the area where water meets land and is any body of water. Could be a lake, river, ocean, waterfront. So we describe that with homes as well. It's a real estate terminology. You would say a beautiful waterfront property, which means your house is directly on the water, whether that is a river, lake, ocean, sea, whatever the body of water is. So hopefully that made it clear for you. And you said it's a beautiful description, so thank you. I'm glad it did. How about this? Giving directions. Have you ever been asked for directions? Have you been asked for directions? Okay, so that means has someone asked you where something is? I always get really stressed out when people ask me for directions because I have a terrible sense of direction and I don't want to give them incorrect information. So if I'm with my husband, I always just point at him and he's the one who provides the directions. But if it's just me, honestly, a lot of the time, I tell them I can't help them because I'm really not a good person to get directions from. But let's say you are, go straight down this road. Okay. So down, this generally doesn't have a specific meaning. It just depends on what your reference is. Do you view this as up the road or do you view this as down the road? Native speakers will use it interchangeably, and we usually use it based on where we just were or we are going. Okay. So you can say, go up this road, go down this road. Now, if you don't want to use up or down, you could also just say, go straight on this road. So that's your alternative. Up this road, down this road, on this road. So go straight down this road. And when you reach the traffic lights, turn left. I don't know if it's reversed for you, but I'm going left on my side. The camera might reverse it. Turn left. So notice imperative. You give instructions in the imperative, which means the base verb, no subject. Base verb, no subject. Go straight. When you reach the traffic lights, turn left. So the traffic lights, this is called a point of interest. Okay? So when you're trying to figure out where you need to be, pay attention to the points of interest. Maybe there's a certain store, a certain name of a street, traffic lights, for example. So a traffic light is the indicator that has green, yellow, red. That's a traffic light. You might just say the stop sign. A stop sign is, of course, the pole, and the light just usually hangs down. So that is one great way. Let's look at this. I say, oops, sorry. I say go 4 meters up, 400 meters up the road and turn left or right. Exactly. Great job. In North America, we generally don't use meters. We would say blocks, blocks. So we would say I think maybe 400 meters would be like 4 blocks. So I would say go 4 blocks up this road and turn left and turn right. Exactly. Very nice. So obviously you use the measurement that is expected or that is used in your country. So in your country, absolutely keep saying meters because that's what is expected. Let's try this one. Okay, so if someone says, "Excuse me, where's the museum?" Or, "Excuse me, how do I get to the waterfront?" And then they reply back and say, "Oh, you just passed it. You just passed it," which means if you're here, the museum or waterfront is behind you. You've gone too far. Okay. You just passed it. But if you use just, it sounds like a short period ago. So it sounds like you can easily get there. It's not a big deal. You just passed it, turn back. So turn back means go in the direction you just came from. Okay. Turn back and walk past the grocery store. It's right on your right. That's a kind of a bad way of saying it, but it's on your right. You can get rid of that second right because that's or first right. It's on your right. Right being the right-hand side of the road. Because when you're driving or walking, the cafe could be on this side, the left-hand side, or this side, the right-hand side. So if you know it's on your right, then you're going to pay more attention to this side of the street and you can ignore that side of the street. And here, the grocery store, this is your point of interest. So you can just turn around, start walking. When you reach the grocery store, you know you're going the right direction. And then it's on the right after the grocery store. Right after, in the sense of this right, it's right on your right means like immediately. So very close to the grocery store. How about this? Oh, yeah, this works, Ariel. You just missed it. You just missed it. Yeah, you just passed it. You just missed it. Absolutely. Great job. Hey, Manuel. So nice to see you. Yeah, Natalia, if you use down, you don't use on. Go down the road, go up the road, go on the road. Okay. But the rest is correct. Turn left and then cross the road. So go to the other side. How about this? If you head toward the park, you'll see it almost immediately on the other side of the street. Okay. So if I'm talking to the stranger here, but there's a park visible over here, then I know I need to walk this way. So head means go. If you head toward the park, if you go toward the park, you'll see it almost immediately on the other side of the street. So if the park's here, the other side of the street, well, it could be that way, that way, that way, or that way. We don't know, But the point is, it will be obvious because you should be able to see it. So once I get to the park, I'll see it and I'll know what the other side of the street represents because it's almost immediately. So that's the replacement to it's right. It's almost immediately on your right. It's right on the other side of the street. Head is a very common verb that's used in transportation and directions. How about this? To get to the museum, you need to transfer at City Hall. Okay, this to get is a purpose clause. So it's in order to get. So it provides the how. How do you do it? You need to transfer. To get to the museum, you need to transfer. So to transfer means you are on a bus for a period of time and then you exit, you get off the bus and you have to get on a different bus because that different bus goes in a different direction. To get to the museum, you need to transfer at City Hall. So, City Hall is your point of interest. When you see City Hall, you need to press the bell, the bell, and so you can get off the bus and then you need to get on another bus. And remember, maybe you ask the bus driver, "Oh, hi there. Can you tell me when we get to City Hall?" Because then you won't miss your stop. And exactly, transfer to transfer, that's the verb, means to change your means of transportation. Very good. Yeah, so you would say transfer. To switch trains, you need to transfer. You need to transfer. And you could be specific and say, you need to get off at City Hall and then take the L train or take bus 121, whatever. Sometimes it's a letter, the L train. Sometimes it's a number. Sometimes it's a name. So you need to get off at City Hall and then take the L train to the waterfront. Okay, so you can absolutely give them that specific information as well if you know it. This is what I say most of the time. Sorry, I'm not from here, so I'm not really sure. So if someone asks me, "Oh, what's the easiest way to get to the waterfront?" If I don't know, I could say, "Sorry." So sorry just to let them know that you can't help them. The second you say sorry, they know that they're not going to get the information they want from you. And sorry, of course, expresses regret. Sorry, I'm not from here, which means I'm a tourist or I'm from out of town. Sorry, I'm not from here. So I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure how to get to the waterfront. I'm not really sure if this bus goes to the museum. I'm not really sure what bus you need to take to get to the museum. Sorry. So that's what you can say. Oh, City Hall is the name of the government building where municipal government business takes place. So, municipal government, municipal means city. So, the mayor, for example, the mayor may work at City Hall. The count in my city we call them counselors, city counselors. They work at City Hall. But in other places there could absolutely be a different name for it. Just in my geographical location, the place where city government happens is called City Hall. So it's like the White House, but for city government workers. Oh, I get lost everywhere I go. Honestly, it's really embarrassing. I don't know why. I do not have a sense of direction. Even when I'm in a big mall, I get lost. Like I won't even know where I entered the mall and then it takes me forever to get out of the mall. It's terrible. Terrible. You can say, sorry, I'm not familiar with this place. So it's to be familiar with something. Sorry, I'm not familiar with this place. So honestly, I don't know. There are many different things you could say for sure. And if you just want to be very basic, you can just say, sorry, I don't know. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's better, in my opinion, as the person receiving the directions. I would rather not receive directions if they weren't going to be correct directions. I only want to receive correct directions. Okay, let's move on to planning your route. You might say to a friend, to your spouse, parking will be crazy. So let's take the bus downtown. So you're deciding, oh, should we drive? Should we take the bus? So this is where native speakers don't say things like, should we go on foot? For example, we don't say that. We say, should we walk? Should we drive? Should we take the bus? Should we take the train? Should we take the subway? And sometimes train and subway can be interchangeable. Okay. So that's what we would say. Parking will be crazy. So let's take the bus downtown. Now, crazy has different meanings. It might mean very expensive. It might mean impossible to find a spot, or it might mean that the parking is far from the actual location. So we don't really know. It just means that it's not going to be easy. It's going to cause stress and frustration in some way. Parking will be crazy, so let's take the bus downtown. So let's take you're providing that as a recommendation. So let's take the bus downtown. Yeah, you could absolutely use a different form of transportation. Let's walk downtown for sure. Let's ride our bikes. Oh, this is a good one. We should take the bus because parking downtown is a nightmare. Absolutely. Native speakers use that all the time. So something is, so your verb to be, don't forget that article, a nightmare. Now, of course, a nightmare is a very negative situation. So it just represents something negative. Your worst dream. That's what parking downtown is. Because parking downtown is a nightmare. You could use that with anything because traffic is a nightmare. Yes. And downtown is the center of any city. So in your area, you might call it the city center, the city center. Um, but we say downtown. How about this? It's walkable, but the train will get us there way faster. So maybe your friend asks, well, should we walk to the museum? Should we walk to the museum? And then you reply back and say, it's walkable. So you acknowledge that it is possible to walk to the museum. So that's walkable. It's walkable. The museum is walkable. We're able to walk to the museum. It's walkable, but the train will get us there way faster. So you are suggesting the train. You want to take the train. And the reason is you'll get there faster. Not just faster, way faster. So way means a lot faster. How about this? Ooh, this is something that I always do. I always, well, screenshot, of course, you take a picture of your screen, but a photo, I always take a photo of my actual car in the parking garage or the parking lot. If it's a really big parking lot, like at a movie theater, the underground parking, there's so many different levels and so many different areas. So I always take a photo of my car with the number of the parking area visible in it. So this is a good recommendation. Did you take a screenshot? So, a photo of your screen on your device. Did you take a screenshot of our stop in case there's no Wi-Fi on the subway? So, of course, you're using your app to tell you what stop you need to get off at. But if there's no Wi-Fi and you can't hear the announcement, so it's good to take a screenshot so you have it on your phone and you know what stop to get off at. Did you take a screenshot of our stop? And here's the reason why. In case there's no Wi-Fi on the subway. Good. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Welcome, Hidaki. So nice to see you. Better late than never. Woohoo, and you do it too. Yes, I always do it. I think it's such a good idea. It's walkable, but it's better to use the train. You can say use the train, but the most common co-location is take, to take the train. But it's better to take the train. Yeah, absolutely. You can say just in case. It's very common to use just. Why don't we carpool? We can pick you up on the way. What does carpool mean? Does anyone know? Yeah, you take a plane for sure. Why don't we carpool? So, why don't we? Remember, you have to conjugate don't. So, if you were talking about your sister, you might say, why doesn't she get a job? Why doesn't she? Okay. But in this case, it's we. Why don't we? So in my suggestion or in my example, it's a suggestion. It's me saying, I want to carpool. What do you think about it? Do you agree? Why don't we? Why don't we? Why don't we carpool? Exactly. To split a journey in the same car. Okay. Because imagine I'm meeting my friend at a restaurant downtown. So I drive downtown in my car. She drives downtown in her car. We are both stuck in traffic. We both have to pay for parking. We both cannot find a parking spot. So why don't I just pick her up? Okay. We can pick you up on the way. So let's say the restaurant is here and I live here. So I'm going to leave my house, go to my friend's house. She'll get in the car and then we'll go to the restaurant together. So that's carpool, share a car ride. Yeah, it's like a collective taxi, but someone in the group owns the car and is driving. And usually everyone in the car will pay for parking together, or if one person pays for parking, maybe the other person will buy the appetizer or something like that. So it kind of you share the expense of it in some way. And on many highways in North America, there's a special lane for cars that carpool. Okay. Because the government wants to encourage you to share a car. So there are less cars on the road. So if you have three or more passengers in your car, you can go in this special lane, which is a lot faster because there aren't as many cars. So that's a benefit as well. I don't know. Do you have that in your country? Is there a carpool lane on the highway? Well, how would that work? Would you take your bike to your friend's house and then your friend would get on your bike? I would like to see that. I mean, like just the nature of a bike is generally for one person. So that would be difficult. But I know that if you have a scooter, someone could sit on the back of it. But in that case, I don't think you would use the expression carpool. You might just say, oh, I can pick you up on the way. So you might use that. But I don't think that's possible with a bicycle. Yeah. Less cars, less pollution. Love it. Exactly. Exactly. Just it's a lane, lane, lane. Okay. Because line are it's the paint on the road that creates the lane. So you'll see a white or a yellow line that tells you where the lane is. Okay. But you want lane. Exactly. A tandem bicycle. Or, yes, Natalia, you can sit in the basket. I love it. That would be so fun if someone picks you up on a bike. Oh, cool. You have a carpool. That's awesome. Yeah, for sure. It's absolutely a way to save money. A lot of people who work in the same office building, they will arrange carpools. So they might send out an email and ask, does anyone live in my area? I'm happy to carpool with you. And then you and that person, because you're going to the same office at the same time, if you live in the same area, you can carpool together and then you can have someone to talk to. You can make a new friend. So it can be more social as well. There used to be carpools at the office I worked at long time ago, but I always loved singing in the car. It was my favorite thing to do, just like sing very loudly as I was driving. So I never carpooled because I wanted to sing. How about this? You need to take 3 buses to get oh, sorry, it should say downtown. Downtown. Let's just Uber it. So sorry about that, everyone. Downtown. Remember, downtown is the city center. Okay, so if you're arranging transportation, you need to take 3 buses to get downtown. Let's just Uber it. Okay, let's just Uber it. This is a casual way that native speakers use to say, let's just take an Uber, because in that case, it would be like a taxi, the bus, the train. So Uber in that case would be the noun. Let's just take an Uber. Exactly. Let's just take an Uber. So let's just Uber it is a casual way of saying that, but it's so commonly used. And you don't have to use Uber. You could say, let's just walk it. Let's walk it. It being wherever you're going. So let's just take an Uber to the museum. So it is the trip. Let's just bus it. Let's just subway it. Let's just walk it. Let's just drive it. So you can use it with all forms of transportation. You would need. Okay, notice this is hypothetical because if you take the bus, you would need to take 3 different buses to get downtown. So you'd have to get on the bus, get off, transfer, get on, get off, get on, and then get to your final destination. That would be a lot. Yeah, you can. Let's train it. Yeah, you can. Just remember, if you're ever unsure if you should or shouldn't use these casual expressions, just know, let's take the train. Let's take an Uber. Let's drive. Let's walk. Now, let's move on to some expressions you can use checking your status. The status being, how close are we to our final destination? Are we going the right way? Our status. Weren't we supposed to turn left at the library? So does this ever happen to you? You got the directions and you're walking or driving and then you think to yourself, weren't we supposed to turn left at the library? Weren't we? So you're posing it as a question. Weren't we supposed to turn left at the library? So, supposed to means that it was a requirement for you. Okay. So, to be supposed to, that's why it's were in the past. It's the past of to be. Weren't we supposed to turn left at the library? But your husband or your wife or your friend just drove right by the library. So this is where you can suggest to that person, I think we're going the wrong way. I think we're lost. Weren't we supposed to turn left at the library? And then whoever's driving will say, oh no, because they missed the turn. They missed the turn. Yeah, exactly. We just passed it. You might ask, we must have missed our turn. We've been driving for too long. So you're driving, but you know how long it's supposed to take. And it seems like it's taking longer than that. So you're wondering, are we going in the right direction? Are we lost? We must have missed our turn. We must have missed our turn. We've been driving for too long. Yeah, you could say, we've forgotten to turn at the library. Yeah, you can say that for sure. Expected is more not for a requirement, is for maybe estimating the final duration or who might be there. So we expected to be there at 7, but we were supposed to turn left and we didn't. So we didn't get there until 7:30. So an expectation, just remember, expected is the verb form of expectation. Expectation, you think something will happen or should happen, or other people think something will or should happen. Supposed to is there was a requirement for you to do something. So they are similar, but I wouldn't say we were expected to turn left at the library. I wouldn't say that. We have definitely missed our turn. Absolutely. Yeah, we've already passed the exit. Oh, that's the worst. You're driving, and then it's too late to get in the other lane. And then you see the exit, just you go right by and you're like, oh, and then you have to go in a big circle or it's going to take an additional 10 minutes. The GPS must be wrong because there's definitely no cafe here. My husband and I have said this many times because when we're in new cities or even in our city, we'll look up on TripAdvisor or Reddit or somewhere about a cafe or a cool store, and then we'll find it. And then we'll go and we'll get to the exact point that the GPS says it's supposed to be here. And we look around and there's no cafe. I mean, there's no signs of a cafe. It's residential street or it's all offices. Maybe there was a cafe there 5 years ago. Maybe they planned to build a cafe, but it didn't open. Something happened. Or the GPS is wrong. The cafe is on the other street and the pin is just incorrect. So we've said this many, many times. The GPS must be wrong because there's definitely no cafe here. Okay, and then you can use whatever you're looking for, because the restaurant isn't on this street, because there's no museum in this area, whatever it is. And notice it's the GPS. You need the GPS must be wrong, and then you can provide the reason. Remember, the GPS might not have been updated with recent changes. Exactly, for sure. Or Apple Maps is notoriously wrong. Once we were trying to find our Airbnb and we used Apple Maps, which was a bad decision. We should have used Google Maps. Google Maps is way more accurate, but we use Apple Maps and we were literally like 15 minutes away from the Airbnb, but it said the pin was right there and it was just totally wrong. Yeah, they can be. A cafe is generally more casual, really focused on coffee. So in North America, I know in Europe, my understanding is they use the term cafe a little bit differently. In North America, a cafe is very much focused on coffee or beverages. Now, at a cafe, you can also get food, but it's usually going to be pastries, desserts, maybe light food like sandwiches, things like that. And there may or may not be sit down service. So you may just go order your coffee at the front and your pastry, and then they call your name. You go up, you get it, you bring it to your table. A restaurant is more, you're going to have a full meal, you're going to receive service. So that would be the difference in North America. Notoriously wrong is a nice phrase. Yes, it is. I like that. Yeah, I already have many IELTS videos on my YouTube channel. So if you go to my channel page, you can just search for the word IELTS and you'll see the lessons I already have on IELTS. Are you sure we're going the right way? So you might have to clarify if all of a sudden you turn and it just seems unfamiliar or just definitely not the right way. Are you sure? Are you sure we're going the right way? Are you sure we're going the right way? So again, right means correct way. Are you sure we're going the right way? Or this one, I thought the guy said we'd see a park. So the guy would represent a male and whoever you asked for directions. So if you asked some guy, just a random guy, a stranger who is a male, okay, it has to be male, who is a male, and that stranger said, oh, the cafe you want is right across from a park. So it's easier to find the park than it is to find a cafe, which might have a very small sign. So you're looking for a park, you're driving on this road, there's no park at all. So if you don't see the park, where's the cafe? I thought the guy said we'd see a park. We would see a park. And again, this is the hypothetical. We would, because if we take this route, we would see a park. So it's more that hypothetical nature. Now, the guy, remember, is a male stranger. If you want to use female, you would most likely replace it with woman. I thought the woman said. You could say girl, but girl sounds like young. Like a girl is generally 10 years old, 16 years old. And I don't know about you. I don't ask a lot of children for directions. I ask adults. So the word woman sounds more like an adult female, but guy is more age inclusive. So it could be younger or older. Exactly. And we'd see is we would see. Yeah, exactly. But if you say, hi, guys, this is just an expression. So remember, in English, expressions are a group of words that have a specific meaning. So the expression is hi or hello, whatever greeting, and then guys with the plural is always plural. And in that case, it's used as a gender neutral greeting for a group of people. That group of people can be all male, male and female, or all female. And it's very commonly used. Let's move on to landmarks and describing locations. So, a landmark, similar, I called it before a point of interest. You could call it a landmark as well. A landmark could be the museum or the park or city hall. It's just a noticeable building or object that helps you understand where you are. It's right next to the bank. You can't miss it. Okay, so in this case, the bank is the landmark or the point of interest. So it's maybe the cafe or the museum. It's right next to the bank. So bank is here, cafe is here, here, or even here, here. So we don't know exactly where, but next to. You can't miss it. You can't miss it. I've had many people say that to me, but then I do miss it, which means you can't miss it, means you will absolutely find the cafe because it's very easy to find. You can't miss it. Yes, for a group of people, including male and female, just know it does sound casual. Okay. Hi, guys. If you're at a more formal restaurant, the host will not greet you with hi, guys, because it sounds too casual. They'll probably say, hello, everyone, or good evening, everyone. Please write this way. So I use hi, guys all the time because in most situations, I talk to people in an everyday way. I don't talk to people in formal situations. Yeah, the Statue of Liberty is absolutely one of the most iconic landmarks in New York, maybe even the world. Exactly. The Statue of Liberty is a landmark. Absolutely. Okay. You'll see it just past the gas station. So you'll see it, the museum, the cafe, just past. So if the gas station is here as you're driving, once you get to the gas station, I would slow down and I would go very slowly And then I would look for a tall glass building with an orange sign. So that sounds like it's a pretty noticeable building. So anything that just is very noticeable, you can consider that a landmark. So in your area, if all the buildings are three stories high and brown, and there's one tall building, it's all glass, and there's a very bright orange sign, well, you would use that building as a landmark because it's the most recognizable building in your area. It doesn't necessarily mean that's a building that you will use or tourists care about. It's just recognizable. It's on the corner of King Street and 3rd Avenue, directly opposite the park entrance. Okay, so you find the park, you look for the entrance, and directly opposite means it's not here, it's not there, it's directly opposite. Okay, so they're being very specific. So if you find the entrance of the park, you will find what you're looking for. Now, so directly opposite, and then this is a corner, and we have King Street, 3rd Avenue. Yeah, a temple, a church, the pyramids, absolutely. Those are all landmarks. Just any building structure that is very easy to recognize. Oh, thank you so much. I drink so much water during the day. Half of it is also as hot tea, which I really love. But I will have another sip. If you get to the water, you've gone too far. This is a good instruction to provide someone. So you give a noticeable landmark, but that is past the location. So they know if they see water or if they see a tall building, a tall glass building with an orange sign, they should not continue going. At that point, if you see it, you've gone too far. You've missed your destination. So you should turn around and go back, or you should stop here and ask a stranger to help you, or you should ask Google, of course. So if you get to, and then whatever it is, if you get to the tall building with the orange sign, you've gone too far. If you get to the park, you've gone too far. You need to turn back. Okay, I really like that one. Everyone, that is the end of our lesson. And wow, 1 minute to spare. I planned that one really well. So remember, you can get your free speaking guide where I share 6 steps on how to speak English fluently and confidently. You can download it from my website for free. And also, you can join the Finally Fluent Academy if you want to keep learning these expressions, if you want to understand real English, if you want to sound fluent and natural, and if you want my personal support as well. And put yes, 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 yes in the comments if you enjoyed this lesson, if you want me to keep helping you with your vocabulary, your grammar, your pronunciation as well. Put yes, yes, yes in the comments. Okay. If your car falls in the water, you've gone too far. Exactly. Exactly. If you walk off the cliff, you've gone too far. Yes, you could have a lot of jokes with that. I like it. Woohoo! I'm so glad. Woohoo! You're very welcome. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. You're very welcome. Awesome, everyone. I am so glad. You're very welcome. Thank you for participating. I am so glad you enjoyed it. Bye, everyone. Bye.